Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So I've just had a phone call off my brother to say that the brackets that he's making for us are now ready to go. So we're just going to shoot off up there, get them picked up and then head off back down to the workshop and hopefully get these installed. So let's whip up there now. It's only a 5-minute drive from here to my brother's and then probably another 5 minutes or so back from there to the workshop. So let's go grab them, let's have a look and see how these have turned out. Right guys, so we've collected our bag of goodies. So this is what we've got. We've got a load of these plates. These are what weld up underneath the boom, and then we attach our clamps, hose clamps on them to keep the hydraulic pipes pinned up underneath the boom, as we explained on a previous episode. You'll have seen where they go. So we can now get them old ones chopped off and get these new ones installed. So we've got a pile of them, and also the big one, which is something we've been waiting for to be done for a while. Just bear with me guys, we'll get this out of here. Stuck. Come on, here we go. So there we have our nice new airbag bracket. Look at that, lovely stuff. So it's like for like pretty much to the old one. So it's a couple of these welding blobs cleaning off, just a bit of welding spatter. Well, that's come out pretty well. So this is all laser cut, all these holes have been laser cut out, the plate's laser cut, fully fabricated to match the specifications of the old one. So right guys, let's head off back down to the workshop and let's start getting this on. There she is. Let's give this a whirl. Right, so the first thing we need to do is drift out these old bolts from in here. I've actually only got 2 nuts and bolts in stock, believe it or not. We've actually run low on these, so we'll get some more at a later date, but they'll do for now, just to see if the bracket lines up. So we're going to knock these old studs out of here. Let's get our new bracket out. Let's have a way up. So I'm just going to pop these bolts through the back. So there we go. That fits on there pretty well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to take this back off. I'm going to get some paint behind this on the chassis. Obviously where we've removed the old one, there's no paint there. And we're also going to paint the back side of this bracket, because obviously we won't be able to get any paint in there once it's bolted up. So the paint we're going to be using for that, so bear with me. The paint we're going to be using for this is this stuff. It's actually a direct to metal, so that DTM is a direct to metal 2K gloss post office red. So this stuff you can go basically, as it says on the tin, straight onto the metal. Obviously just make sure the surface is clean. We'll scuff it up a little bit, but there's no need for primer with this stuff, and it bonds really, really well. I've used this stuff quite a lot and it is really hard wearing, so we're going to be putting a bit of that on the chassis behind the bracket, and we're going to be painting the back side of the bracket in this stuff, and then we'll let that go off and then we can bolt the bracket on. Right guys, so I'm just going to clean up a little bit of the welding spatter off this bracket, just where bits of blobs of metal have stuck during the welding process. So I'm just going to clean them off with the little roll lock tool, and we're going to bang some paint on this and get it dropped onto the chassis. Right guys, so there we have it. The bracket is now painted. I got a little bit carried away. I was only supposed to paint the back side, the bits you can't get to while it's on the truck basically, but as you do when you got the paint out, I ended up painting the whole thing. So anyway, Tom will be repainting this when he does the chassis. Again, the whole chassis is getting redone along with all this gear, so that will be redone, but that fits really well. Again, we've got a couple of bolts in there. We'll be replacing these. These are only 8.8s in there at the minute. Probably going to put some 10.9s in there, and obviously one in the middle that's missing. We can also get the airbag in place now, because obviously that's been stopping us from getting that in. So that's that bit done, guys. So we'll have a little walk round here. I'll show you what Tom's been up to. Just bear with me again, one sec. So Tom's got some more done on these lockers. Some more skimming work, some more filler work done. These are actually looking really sharp now. Obviously it's hard to see while there's no paint on them, but in person you can see all these edges are all now level. Some of these had a little bit of a step on them, So these are all now edged off really well. All the gaps have lined up pretty good. Same again on here. Just gap them up really well. All nice and flat, all nice and smooth and level, all nice and filled down there. Same again over the tops. And we're all now nice and flat. We've done a bit of work down this back corner. These are looking pretty good again down the back ends. Now obviously you don't really see much of this when it's on the truck, but again, while it's off, we'd be silly not to make the back look as good as the front. If we're going to do it, may as well do it properly and make it so we know it's nice. All this back end again is all looking nice and sharp. This side, all the gaps are looking nice. And as I've shown you previously, all the insides of these was done. So these are all primed inside as well. All looking nice and tidy in there. So these are not so far off, guys. We're hoping that these lockers should actually be in primer by the end of the week. It's Wednesday today, so hopefully come Sunday these will be back in primer and pretty much almost ready for accepting some paint. We are awaiting some rubber anti-vibration mounts for the body. I'll just show you the old ones. So these basically sit in these holes. Obviously you have one that comes up from the underneath like so, that sleeves through that hole, and then that bit should drop on the top. So it sandwiches this basically and gives you a pad for your body to sit on. Just takes some of the rattling out of it, and as it says, it's an anti-vibration pad, so it's pretty much self-explanatory. These are proving difficult to find for the sizes, so I'm hoping we've now found them. I've got a company coming back to me tomorrow, so fingers crossed we managed to tie them down, and then obviously the lockers are not far off going on. Last episode again we got the rams on, then we're all now pinned in. All the new pins are in that we did. We rebuilt all this back end, drum shoes, all that lot's done as well. So it's coming along really well now, this, guys. Interior should be back from the trimmers in the next week or two. Now, we're not in a major rush for this because what we don't want is for this interior to come back and have nowhere to store it. So the ideal situation would be for the interior to come back and it goes straight in to the truck, and then we can mask the truck off, get the windscreen, everything put back in, and keep it clean inside this truck. Problem being is we don't have a roof liner, so last thing we want to do is put the interior back in here and then be climbing all over it trying to do the roof liner. So we've made the decision, we're actually going to have to make something for this because we've exhausted all options now. We cannot find one of them anywhere at all. We've contacted numerous people, we've put the feelers out all over social media, and nothing's come of it. So we're just going to have to make something up here out of some thin MDF or something like that, and then we'll just send that, once we've got it made, we'll send that off to the trimmer. He can trim it up for us, then we can fit that, all the rest of the interior can go back in, all the glass can go back in, and that can stay nice and clean in there. And then once all that's in, we can actually then get these panels painted. Obviously we've left these unpainted for the same reason. We're climbing in and out, in and out. These are all going to be white, they'll just be ruined. So we're leaving them again until the interior is done. Somebody pointed out on a previous video, I did actually make a bit of a mistake on these door cards. Obviously the door cards are at the trimmer, so I've not got them for reference. This is the first one for free that I've restored. So I thought, or assumed, that the door card actually came down to this edge. Someone's pointed out to me that the door card actually finishes on that edge. So I've actually put too much of the sound deadening on here, so I've now got the joyful job of getting this gooey stuff back off here and shaping it, cutting it back to there, and then obviously bottom of them doors are now going to have to be repainted again. So bit of a mess up there, bit of a mistake, but happens to us all. What else have we got, guys? What else have we got? Oh yeah, also what we did on a little episode I put on the other day, I don't know if you guys have watched this one, but I actually run through a few processes, and cleaned this coolant header tank up. Got it as clean as I possibly could, and it did come out a hell of a lot better. If you've seen this before I cleaned it on the episode that's just below this one, you'll see in the state this was in. And again, we could have gone out and bought a new one of these, but that's what the channel's about. We restore stuff and we like to reuse what we can. So that is now nice and clean and ready to go back on the truck. Yeah, what else have we got is, as I've shown you earlier on in this episode, we've now had the plates made that go under here for all these tabs. Obviously these have all broke off, so we need to just trim these plates off, get rid of them, and then we can weld our new base plates on there with our new studs. And then we can get our new clamps, and obviously once this is painted, then we can pin all those hoses back under there. We've got a guy coming out next week to start redoing all this pipe work, replacing all these hydraulic lines. Again, that'll be coming on a later episode. So yeah, that's a quick rundown for you guys, just to bring you up to date with where we're at with this. What I'm actually going to be doing now is I'm going to try and do some shorter content on this build. I will mix up with some long content. Sometimes I do have too much footage where I'm ending up making videos that are very, very long, and then other times I don't have enough footage. Like tonight, for example, I've only done a couple of jobs. So I'm going to start mixing it up. I'm going to do a couple of short form videos. So on the next episode, you're going to be seeing probably us making that roof liner, fitting that airbag on that back end where we've just fitted that new bracket, doing those brackets on the boom. And we're actually considering modifying and doing something a little bit different with this bumper. We might end up reshaping this, and we're actually considering cutting some bits out and putting some nice spotlights sunk into the front of this bumper. So stay tuned for that. We're not entirely sure yet which way we're going to go with that, but we just sort of think that that bumper just spoils the look of the truck. We know it serves a purpose, and realistically it does want to be there, but we just want to make it look a little bit more easy on the eye. So we are probably going to be doing something with that, and that'll be again coming in a later episode. So that is going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Feel free to drop us some comments as always. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.